What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about SoundHound. We got another interesting day. I want to break it down, what's driving it lower, what the data points are saying, and everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So SoundHound is down 3.17%, 941 the low, 983 the high. So it is recovering from the crazy pullback that did happen first thing, and in reality the only thing that caused all this fear is Nvidia. So Nvidia does have their GTC 2025, the keynote speech, coming out, and I'm live streaming it. Just I think it should be starting momentarily, but I think a lot of people are somewhat cautiously worried about what Jensen is going to say. In addition to that, what Powell might say tomorrow. So should be a fun time, but I think in general, like I mentioned, I don't think Powell, what he will say tomorrow, will be that big of a deal. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what Jensen does say. No official news or any SEC filings from SoundHound itself. Last news that did come out was the fact that they are participating at the GTC 2025. I haven't seen any pictures of their booth. I've seen some others out there, but not SoundHound exactly. So hopefully they do keep up that good momentum as what they've done with previous conferences. But one thing that kind of came out, I don't really see that affecting the stock price whatsoever, but Cramer. So Cramer did say simply that SoundHound is a meme stock, and that's it. In the past, he's added it a little bit more, saying that he wouldn't really bet against it and whatever else, but this one, I guess he's just calling SoundHound straight a meme. That's it. So I don't know if that's a good thing, bad thing. Conveniently, he also did call Serve Robotics a meme stock, and both Serve and SoundHound did get hit quite recently because of Nvidia kind of pulling their positions in Q4. So something to keep in mind. Aside from all that though, you have shorts returning 216,000 shares. So they returned yesterday as well as today. So in my opinion, obviously analyzing this, it shows that they do not feel today's pullback is just. So I think just SoundHound should be gaining some good momentum with the broader market, and most likely Powell will kind of reassure the broader market, just say, hey, the data points are good. You might not see any rate cuts, at least in the next little bit, but nonetheless, we do anticipate that they'll be coming. So that's how I see things playing out tomorrow. I could be wrong, so let me know your general thoughts on that. Moving over to options, you have 1.01 million in calls, 811,000 in puts. 46% of all the options being done today are optimistic in nature, and for the most part, looking here of the call options, there's a good consensus for it to be roughly around that $10.50 to $11 range. So pretty good for that. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 850. So maybe they are anticipating Powell to really shake the broader market up, because there isn't really any other crazy data points coming out this week. Today we did have permits and starts. Somewhat mixed on this, but then again, even if they were to come in better than anticipated or even a little bit worse, I didn't really feel like this was going to move the market all that much, and from what we can see from the futures, it didn't. Even looking forward into the rest of the week, we have the interest rate decision, so that one's going to be a big one. Thursday, existing home sales, and then Friday, just a Fed speaker. So I think in general, I have no idea why bears would be anticipating for it to be sub 850. So let me know your kind of viewpoint on that. Aside from that, these are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So somewhat mixed. You had a couple buys first thing, so that's what kept it a little bit higher, and then you had some institutions selling. Again, just a lot of unjustified fear in my opinion, and I think everyone's just waiting for Jensen right now. But these are all the transactions occurring on the dark pool above $100,000. So you are seeing a little bit on the low end today. So I think, again, just big money is waiting. As what we've seen on this chart right here, there's still a lot of big money hesitant about the broader market. Record numbers are sitting in money markets. So I think roughly around just 7.2 or 7 something, just over that $1 trillion is sitting in money markets. Once they get the good rubber stamp that the market is solid, that will be moving kind of up and up from here, then essentially I see a nice rotation happening, probably in the second half of 2025 in reality. But aside from that, with it at $9.79, it is trading between these 2 points, so this S1 and this S2. So it did bounce off of the general area for this, the S3, so 942 we know is a good support level, but at least in the short term, just watch for 986 and then $10.13. This might be somewhat of a bold prediction, but once Jensen does finish his keynote, I feel that it will, SoundHound and much of the greater market will actually be green. So that's just my prediction. Hopefully it does turn out, but even if not, I think SoundHound is much more than just a meme stock, despite what Jim Cramer is saying. But then again, I guess if you want to think inverse Jim Cramer, maybe this is bullish, possibly. I don't know. What's your kind of 2 cents on that? No recent analyst ratings on a side note, so hopefully, at least in the foreseeable future, we might get some kind of from that. But aside from that, though, it is still holding above that ALMA, so that is sitting at $9.68. Aside from that, you have the 200-day moving average sitting at 841. So, of course, that is the diamond support level that it has bounced off of in the past, so kind of mid-March. So yeah, I think once all this fear does subside, Powell whispers his sweet nothings of just to calm the broader market, I think that will be the good deciding point where big money says, hey, you know what, SoundHound and many other stocks, this isn't where they should be. They should be a lot higher, at least back at the double digits for SoundHound, ideally like $12 to $14. That's where I see things, at least in the short term, but what do I know? Let me know your general thoughts on SoundHound. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? What's your kind of general takeaway from SoundHound's recent price action? And do you agree with Jim Cramer? Do you think that SoundHound is nothing more than a meme stock, or do you think it's a actual credible company? What's your kind of viewpoint on that? One final thing, pop over to my Patreon and give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. But with all that said, appreciate all of you watching.